What were you thinking? With Aaron and Scott. Real talk behind closed doors. It's not just about stupidity, but everything else that comes with it. High octane, energy driven, in your face. Get ready. It's Aaron and Scott.
Oh, it is a wacky day here at What Were You Thinking?
It's not wacky.
No,
everything's normal. It's fine. You're just a little coked out for some reason. You don't even do drugs.
I've been beat with ugly stick.
Oh my God.
No,
Poor-
you know, I'm single now. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. Broke up.
No, you're fucking with me.
I'm not.
Why would you tell me this on the
after
air?
2 years.
I mean, it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Anyway, next.
No one loves me. I'll tell you, this is the kind of treatment
No,
I get.
people do love you, just not him.
Oh.
Anyway. So say hi to Tony. Tony's
Tony.
here with us today.
This
We
is
love
such-
you, Tony.
This is such a privilege, I tell you.
Tony is the one where we originally sat down.
That's right,
and
on our very
sold
first
him
show.
the whole idea, and
Yeah.
he was like, and we were talking, and we were saying, God, how great this would be if Tony was running the boards, and that's what he said. I don't really run the boards.
Yeah.
I was real thrilled about that. Just make sure we don't pop. Who's your daddy?
So back to me. So anyway,
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Hold on. You got a violin? Oh. Hey,
That
you're back
will-
on the market. That's the sound of back on the market, not that one.
yeah, that's a good sound for a man back on the market.
Yeah,
No,
totally.
No, it's
Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
When did this happen?
well, recently.
Well, I know that. You didn't mention it last week, so
Yeah,
I'm
I
figuring
know.
was it like a day ago? Today?
This week.
That's why, his personality was a little odd. You were a little jittery when you walked in. That's why I was making all those.
No, I wasn't jittery.
Yeah, you were. Was he a little?
Well, here's
Yeah.
I'm a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? It takes
Well,
him
here's
to convince you?
No, we're just on different paths, I guess.
So his-
I'm focusing on career and
What's he focusing on?
in the moment.
He's in the moment.
Oh no.
Did he move out? You live together, right?
Yeah.
And did he move out?
He's going to. Yeah.
When? You're still living together?
No,
Oh.
he's staying with his friends.
Oh, that sucks. I thought you guys were so happy. Did
we-
you make it at least 3 years?
2 years.
Oh, you
It's
almost
over
made
2
it to
years.
the big time.
I know, but
Once
you know,
it's 3
usually-
years,
no,
that's like a
no,
lifetime.
It's after if it's 6 months, then that's if you break the 6 month mark. Then,
We're talking gay relationships.
well,
right?
gay relationships, yeah. But even in the straight world too. But if you pass the 6 month mark,
they stay forever.
yeah,
Forever. There's never a
But
divorce.
6 months, it's like dog years, in gay years,
Yeah, totally.
totally like that.
That is really funny. Woof, woof.
But no, I mean, I'm focusing on more future, and he has more I don't know, Peter Pan syndrome. I don't want to.
You know what? I could ask, since this is like personal, but you did bring it up. I won't ask normal questions. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Seriously.
that's okay.
All right. Violins? Not another boner sound.
Oh, so anyway,
Yes.
Well,
So
we
tell me what else is up.
what else is going on? Well, so in the news, so when a father, when a son, father takes his son to a ball game. You sound
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry. You looked like you were going to say something to me.
I was going to say it's terrible, and I'm sorry.
Oh,
We already covered that, right? Do I look sad?
You
I want to look like I mean it.
No. You're right.
Sorry. I was distracted. Okay.
No. So anyway,
You're talking about hockey?
no baseball.
I'm on the same page. Just my own page.
No, when the father takes his son to like the ball game, it's like
Do they actually do that? Can they afford it anymore? These tickets are just outrageous.
Well, they are outrageous, yeah. Well, this father took his 15-year-old son to see the Cardinals, play.
Right.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Father wanted to take some pictures, and they sell
Did he
beer.
get in trouble?
No. Well, what happened was the father had a beer in his hand, wanted to take some pictures.
Right.
Hands the beer to his son, says, "Hey,
Uh-oh.
hey, can you hold this while I take some pictures?"
Uh-oh.
Simple enough.
It's good we have someone here
What
who can
happens?
answer these questions.
No, but the police magically see this all unfold. I mean, how long does it take to take a picture? I mean, but they came down, they charged him basically, they kicked him out of the ball game, cited him
Unbelievable.
for trespassing.
Trespassing?
Yeah, I know. It was weird. They said trespassing.
He bought a ticket.
I know.
How is he trespassing?
I don't know, but they They cited him.
For trespassing.
Yeah.
Not for having your 15-year-old son hold a beer.
Well, for
just for trespassing.
For
Why did they just
trespassing.
get him for stealing?
Exactly.
Hey, you stole something from the market. How do you know?
So
Because you're
never
sitting here at the ballpark.
And it was funny because when they came up to him, the father actually thought it was a joke. He thought it was candid camera.
Really?
He literally thought, he started laughing. Right? Yeah, that was a good one. No, sir, you're going to have to leave.
For trespassing.
Well, here's the thing.
This whole story
but
doesn't even make sense.
minor he had alcohol. He's 15 years old.
It's
so
a different charge last time I
I
checked.
know. But I'm just saying in the story.
Okay, this is a screwball story.
It's just stupid.
I don't even believe
That's
it.
why the show's called What Were You Thinking? It doesn't make any sense.
Something about this has to make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's so stupid. I wouldn't have left. Would you have left? I'm not trespassing.
Well, if
Show
someone's
me your
got you at
ticket.
gunpoint, yeah, then you're.
They pulled guns on him too?
I don't know, but they might have.
What are you not? What am I not getting about this story?
If you
wake up,
resist,
Scott.
no.
Wake up. Oh,
If
yeah.
you're in a place of public, you're resisting security, and this is good. We have a cop. We have a cop on the show.
So they said you need to leave. He
Yes.
said no. They said at that point now you're trespassing.
Correct.
Why were they asking him to leave? I don't know.
because
to begin with.
because he gave his son beer.
Well, that's what I asked you.
yes.
Yeah.
You asked me what?
But
I told you
didn't
that.
ask. You did. I did.
Okay. Shh.
Don't get all psychology. Tell me what you feel.
Moving on because actually
Okay,
we have enough with that one.
What was he cited for?
For his son basically having alcohol.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was the whole idea. He gave his
That's
son.
what I
beer.
figured.
There you
but
go.
Then you went on to
I'm so
trespassing.
smart. SMRT. Yeah.
Tony. Yeah. I know you're not wearing a bright purple Madonna shirt, but maybe you can answer. Didn't I ask him what was he charged for? And he said,
I wasn't paying attention.
Well, hey,
He's just running the board. No one pays attention.
you know what? People can rewind this and listen.
Let's go to the next
I know
story.
I'm not out of it.
Because this
on
next story,
one.
actually, you're going to like this next one.
Let's hope
it's,
so. I'm all ears, Aaron.
So, anyway,
Yes.
at 6 o'clock in the morning,
Today?
no, on June 27th.
Okay, cool.
At 6 a.m.,
Yeah.
this knock happens at this guy's door. Mm-hmm. He looks at his people. He sees two.
How many people did he look at?
He looked out of his peephole at the door, and he saw two Mormon missionaries.
Teasing you.
So,
His people. How many people were there? You idiot. Come on.
no, say he saw two Mormon missionaries.
So there were two people out as people. Okay,
Yes, at his people.
cool. It's all good.
There were two people out of his peephole. Yes.
Aaron, you always got to go porno on me.
No, I don't.
You're a weirdo.
Okay, listen.
Commercial
Trying
break.
to
I'm
tell-
going to church.
Listen, I'm trying to talk about news, and you're talking about porn. Stop it.
Feel dirty.
Anyway,
Go.
he's looking at his
Peephole.
peephole at two people.
At two people.
Two people. And there were Mormon missionaries, right?
At 6 in the morning?
Well, that's what at 6. Here's the thing. I served the Mormon mission.
Did you go out that early?
Did. I know.
I can't imagine.
Well, as I tell you more of the story, you're going to find
You're
out
more
what
of a
happened.
night guy.
So
wouldn't you?
anyway, yeah.
Ding
But anyway, so he
dong.
opens the door, and they have a pamphlet and says, "Sir, we're sharing a message about Jesus Christ." And the guy, he hands them the pamphlet. The guy takes the pamphlet, looks at it. All of a sudden, this guy is being strangled and choked
By the
by
missionaries?
the missionaries.
Are they real missionaries?
No, they're not. They posed.
First of all, 6 in the morning will tell you that.
Absolutely. Who knocks
So
on
what
your door at 6?
happened?
So anyway, he screams for his wife. He's wrestling with these two fake
Missionaries. Did they do it up? Wearing
Mormon
the suits and
missionaries.
everything?
Yeah, they had the
nice
suits.
little
They
blonde
They had
boys.
the backpacks. They had the white shirts. They had the
10
tie.
speeds out
they
at
had
the
a
curb.
fake black tag.
Wow.
Yeah, they had it all.
What were they after?
They stole $3,000 in change that he had in a big jar. That's a lot of change.
Not if it's quarters.
Well, it was
If it's pennies, they
$3,000.
would have been pretty.
They took his iPad, iPhone.
Wow.
So anyway,
Yeah.
the moral of the story is if somebody's knocking at your door at 6 in the morning, don't answer it.
I see the moral is more like
Yep.
if you have a people with people outside, you should just not answer the door. But that's just me.
Boy, this guy actually...
people.
God, you are so funny. You're so easily entertained by the simplest things. The littlest word.
You know, you're cutting along a thin line now. Okay, but go on.
Yeah. So.
Forgot my Madonna shirt. Can't sparkle.
But anyway,
much.
So this guy is now terrified of answering his door to anybody.
Got a question.
Yeah.
Were these big missionaries? Were they big? Big guys?
They were like my size, 5'10", 5'11".
How big was?
And they were aged around 25, 28 years old.
Yeah, and the door opener, was he a big guy or a little guy? Just
he
curious.
was like 56 years old. He wrestled with the guys, but
a little guy, a big guy?
He was about the same size, but he was older. So he had two young wrestling fit guys.
Jeez,
taking this guy.
That's really funny.
Beating up him and his wife.
That's too bad. Next.
I see that turning into a
ADD.
movie or a musical. Wouldn't it be a good musical, right?
Yeah.
Like the Book of Mormon?
I don't get it. A new version. I tried to make that an uncomfortable pause.
Yeah.
Was it?
No.
There was another one. Go ahead.
The next story.
Yes.
So there's this new movie out. It's called The Butler, right?
Yep. Oprah's new movie.
Yes, right.
We like her, even though she steals handbags from Europe.
Right.
Oh, we love her.
So there is a
Oprah.
no in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. There's a movie theater that refuses to play this movie.
In where?
In Kentucky.
Well, isn't that? It doesn't surprise me. They're a little. Let me guess why.
Well,
Why?
Okay. So the reason is because one of the stars is Jane Fonda, who was an outspoken opponent on the conflict. So basically, the guy who owns this, so he tells the media that
I don't know anything about the movie. Fill me in.
It's about a butler who served under 8 U.S. presidents.
Black guy, white guy?
Yeah, a black butler.
Okay.
A black butler. Correct. So this guy was, he was kind of ticked off because of the statements that Fonda made a long time ago. And this guy's like he was a Vietnam vet, right?
What did she say a long time ago?
Well, she was against it, and she clapped and cheered as...
I hear you.
She was against the Vietnam War, and she spoke out.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. She was against a lot of things. All right.
Yes.
That was a fun story. Anyway, where are we going now? Did I lose you? You back till I broke up? Come on.
I'm having a really emotional time.
Apparently. I'm sitting here with some kind of an idiot. Okay.
Oh.
What's next on your... I don't even know what to do with you. Hand me the piece of paper that you tried to write, and we'll do something.
I'll tell you, there wasn't much pickings in there.
I'm just really excited about this because, really, that went nowhere again. Where were you going with that?
Where did you go to school?
Where did you go? Where were you going with that?
What?
Oh, he didn't even remember what story. Do you know what we're talking about?
Yeah, we were talking about the butler.
All right. And what happened?
Well, and the guy didn't play the movie because he hated Jane Fonda and the statement that she made during the Vietnam War.
That's it?
Well, because when our enemies were being knocked down and shot out of the air like they should in a war, your opponent, she was clapping and cheering.
She didn't want the war going on. She's a peace lady, right?
Yes.
Okay. Is that it?
That was it.
All right.
It's just simple. He just didn't want to play.
They're not going to have a lot of movie sales there, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. That was real fun.
So,
yeah. All
okay,
right, let's start.
Now, you hear about the guy who was living in J-Lo's house, Jennifer Lopez. Did you hear about that?
No.
This guy breaks into her mansion.
2 guys or one?
One guy.
You see him through the people?
Was actually living. She wasn't.
They just slip in this time.
No, he managed to live in her house for a week. While she was.
Didn't something like this happen with that other one, Paris Hilton?
I don't know.
Did they
if it was
just go in and
week.
steal her
I think
stuff?
they went and stole her stuff and was making
Different
out.
story.
But this guy actually lived in his house.
Nice.
And when the police, security had a little question, but he basically said that he was J-Lo's baby's father.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's her baby look like?
I have no idea. But
do you know what the father looks like of the baby?
I have no idea. But anyway, he was. But the guy, no, he acted as if he lived there. He was clearing pathways. He was cutting hedges.
Oh,
this
boy.
guy was crazy. Like he literally lived there for a week. She was out of town.
So who notified her?
Well, this was all based from her publicist making the statement about the story. So, wow, someone breaks in your house and can live there for a week and.
Hold on. Are we done with this one, too? This must be Punchline-less Thursday. I must. Okay, cool. Another. All right.
Do you remember when Robert Downey Jr. did that? He He
what?
He woke up in somebody else's house, or somebody woke up and found Robert Downey Jr. in their house.
And he was all drugged out.
Remember
right?
that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
Was this his neighbor's house?
I think so. Or
It was
like
just somebody. And then didn't Boy George tie some gay guy up in London and kept him tied up to the heater
that's
thing for 3
right.
days, and he had sex with him, and then the guy got him. He was charged with kidnapping. Remember that?
that. I about threw up when you said that.
I was mortified when I first heard of the story, but now I talk about it in jest.
So yeah. Anyway,
Onward and forward.
I want to test your wittiness because you're acting really smart tonight and smart-assy, you know. But I'm going to say a phrase, and I want you to finish it. I just want to see how quick you are. You have to act quickly, and you have to respond quickly.
I'll do it
Does that
how
make
I
any? Does that
want.
make sense? What I just said?
Yes. Is that quick enough for you? Is that quick enough?
Okay, so I want you to fill in the blank. Every time I think of you, I get.
Hard.
When I say go, you say.
Stop.
Really?
You're asking me.
All right. It's kind of boring. Come on, get more creative.
Okay, start over.
Every time I think of you, I get.
Sick.
When I say go, you say.
Go faster.
There we go.
There you go.
It'll be a cold day in hell when.
I don't know. I just don't. I don't know what you want me to say here.
It's just what comes out of your big brain. Your small brain.
You had it right. Freudian slip. It'll be a cold day in hell. I don't know. Go to the next one.
Well, bust my buttons if that's the.
I don't know. This is bothering me. This is really annoying.
You know what I like?
You know what I like?
And one more.
What is it?
What do I look like?
A total idiot. I don't know what. What are you doing?
You know what
to
I
me?
could do? Every week, I just like to piss you off and just do stupid shit just because I can. Just because I can.
Aaron, today is a day of mourning for you, and I'm going to let you slide.
Anyway, well, when we come back, we're gonna, we have a police officer on the show.
Oh shit!
Tonight.
Should have left
That's
that
right.
crap in the car. Anyway,
I hope he brought his cups. 'Cause I want
when
to
he
cuff
gets
you.
in
Just
here,
want to beat you with his.
when he gets in here, just let me know.
All right.
I'm going to hide
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. All right.
Seriously, all I have is a sack lunch with a Snoopy milk container.
Coming to you live from the center of Hollywood, California. What were you thinking? With Aaron and Scott. Real talk behind closed doors. It's not just about stupidity, but everything else that comes with it. High octane, energy driven, in your face. Get ready. It's Aaron and Scott.
In the future, talk radio will actually educate, inspire, and make you think. The future is now. Topics and music that affect your life from Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com.
What were you thinking? With Aaron and Scott. Real talk behind closed doors. It's not just about stupidity, but everything else that comes with it. High octane, energy driven, in your face. Get ready. It's Aaron and Scott.
All right, Scott, hide your weed. Yeah.
Such a fucking loser. I don't
Watch
carry
your mouth.
weed.
This is a family show.
I don't carry weed.
This is a family show. Oh, I'm sorry. Is that spinach? All right.
No, nothing but white powder.
No, we have. Oh,
Kidding.
Okay.
Please.
I know.
Say the name. I love this name.
Isn't it the coolest name? Officer Landavazo.
It sounds like a name I would love to do the website for.
You know, it sounds like
Landavazo.
chips. Dun 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 dun. Dun with Eric Estrada.
Yeah,
it's like a
Estrada,
Landavazo.
Landavazo. It's just got
I
a
know.
fuck. It's like we.
It's like Zorro.
All the times four.
Times
all
four.
these syllables.
That's
it's a
right.
great last name. Anyway,
Well, thank you.
How are you, buddy?
I'm good.
Tell him to explain. He's,
Well,
okay.
So anyway, over the past couple of weeks, we thought it'd be fun to have an officer come on the show and answer questions that perhaps people might be wondering.
I know I had a few.
Yeah, I know things that possibly that you can you get away with on the road, maybe not get a ticket. I don't know.
No, I just want to know how we can get rid of the bicyclists
Bicyclists, yeah.
who are sharing the road with everybody
Right.
and shouldn't be on the road.
Yeah. What do we do with
Hold
those
on.
bicycles?
One question. I'll take this one. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
All of a sudden, the name of the show, What Was I Thinking, is
What was I
what was I thinking when I said yes to the show?
No. Here. Okay. First of all, is there anything you want to say before we begin? Okay. No, we've been talking about bicyclists on the road, how they're in the lanes of traffic now, how they can basically do what they want. They do what they want. They flip you off. If you hit them, you get in trouble. They have, it seems to be, the rights of the road. Yet, I find it interesting. They don't, in all seriousness, they don't need a license to drive on these roads, even though they have the same privileges as the vehicles. They don't need insurance. They don't even need any kind of registration. Yet, if you hit them, it's who's paying?
It kind of depends. I mean, it's who's at fault. So, for instance, they are legally obligated to follow the same rules that you follow as driving a motor vehicle. So, essentially, if they're doing something that is an illegal motion or turn or what have you, or going the opposite direction, and you get into a collision with them, obviously they will look at those kind of mitigating circumstances. So they can be just as at fault as a person who's driving a car.
Let's say the guy on the bicycle did something wrong, and he's severely injured to where it could be hundreds of thousands of dollars in rehabilitation to get him back together. Who pays for that? Because he doesn't have bike insurance.
Well, if it was your fault, if you were at fault for that accident, obviously your insurance
Well,
would
I
take
would
care
pay,
of that, correct?
right? But it's not. He ran into me.
If he ran into you, then obviously he's going to have to take care of those expenses, and you could actually sue him for damages.
Does it make sense to you, though, that they don't need a license to perform the same duties as you and I do in our car? It seems they would need a license.
Well, I don't think it's the same level of skill set you're looking at, where a person's driving a car versus driving a bicycle. I mean, obviously, if you're in a car, you're in something that weighs a couple tons. Obviously, there's more potential for hurting people, hurting property, damaging property, etc. So it's like on a bicycle, you
can still cause an accident by pulling into an intersection.
Absolutely.
And wouldn't the same law apply to scooters and motorcycles? And they need licenses.
They do, but they're not motor driven. So that's kind of like the technicality is something being motor driven versus something that is actually powered by the human body.
Yeah, because from what I understand, it's more expensive to get insurance when you drive a motorcycle a lot of times than it is a regular car, because the damages can be very expensive, right?
Well, what you mean for motorcycles versus cars?
Yeah.
Well, the fact is that, for a motorcyclist, it's not if you're going to get in an accident, it's when you're going to get in an accident. I mean, most people will lay down a bike sometime in their lifetime. So, obviously, if you have a bunch of car around you and airbags and seat belts and everything else, your chances of coming out of that, are probably a little better, as opposed to going down on a bike and then you just get road rash and everything else.
Yeah, I don't understand. If they're on the road, why they don't have to know the same things.
You really just don't like bicyclists. Why don't you just come out and say it?
Because they slow down traffic.
They slow down traffic. They do a lot of things.
This is LA.
But
we
if they don't know the laws
and
and they're doing something that's wrong, had they taken a test and passed it and got a license, they would then know the laws. If you're gonna get in the pool, you ought to know how to fucking swim. That's my point. Just seems like a logical thing. I understand. Yeah, I'm just just feeling you out here, but I can't stand them. But that's beside the point.
There's a lot of proponents though that say like bicycling will actually help kind of ease congestion in traffic. I mean, obviously, I can tell you this: I live in a city where there's hordes of traffic, and quite honestly, if I hopped on a bicycle, I'd probably be able to transverse the 2.3 miles of the city within about 5 to 10 minutes versus 30 minutes.
If you got there in one piece.
Yeah, and then there's that. That's it. Thank you for finally saying something today that made some sense.
That's a Scott's not driving.
Yeah.
No, I was just curious about it. I figured this way too. If they get enough people on the road, they're going to limit lanes to just bicycles.
I know
if they do that here in LA,
they have got the green
that's
lanes.
going to be a nightmare. We need more lane. They're busy tearing up. They're trying to make a mile wide out of the 405 right now, and it's like, where are they inventing lanes? I don't even know. But it's like, that's just what we need, is to get rid of lanes. Y'all look at me like I'm a goose and it's like a tiger factory or something. Hello.
Well, I did get some questions, some emails, because I kind of put the word out. So some people did write in and ask some questions, and actually,
That's a great idea.
And people can call in too right now. If you have that one question you just want to know, hey, call in now.
That sounds good.
Yeah. So here are some questions.
Nice.
This
I'm going to sound upbeat. I'm trying to sound positive.
I can hear
Happy.
it. I know your
As
voice.
long as I
Wonderful.
don't have to, as long as I don't have to complete
this one
the
here
sentence,
actually,
I think I'll be fine.
No, this question was actually asked by quite a few people, but I don't know. Maybe you can.
How about the question?
Well, here we go. Is it okay to have any sex acts in a parked car?
I think it depends on where you are, right?
Well, is it? Well, if you were on private property and you were in your car and you were not, necessarily exposed to the public, I guess you could say yes. But as far as being like on a public street or
that's
public,
a no-no.
yeah, that's. I mean,
Yeah. So
yeah.
that would be public indecency, a decent exposure. Even though
lewd
you're in a
It
car.
could be lewd conduct. I mean,
Lewd
it could be
conduct.
it could be a couple different things depending
Right.
on who's actually watching. I mean, if you're doing it next to, I mean, like
So
a park someplace where
husband
there's
and
kids.
wife break away from the kids. The only way they can do it is in the car. Well, maybe it's in their driveway, right? I guess
That's funny.
What's that?
kids, mom and
that a
dad go in the
felony?
car.
No, it's typically. I mean, it's
Don't look
typically
out
a
the window.
misdemeanor. I mean, it's but, again, a lot of times it just comes down to discretion. I mean,
Yeah.
quite honestly, I mean, are you going to treat something differently if it's up on like Lovers Lane someplace
Right.
over where there's
What's that one
nobody
lookout
out there as
point
a-
up at?
I got a funny story.
as opposed to like being parked next to a kindergarten school or something. I
Right.
mean, there's just
Because you always
in
see the
context.
movies, where they're making out, and then it's like that, woo, and the cops come on, and the lights, hey, what are you doing? And they're all like rustling around,
Now,
trying to put on their underwear and stuff.
Aaron, have you ever had that happen to you?
No, I was on private property.
Check this out. I was in high school. I was with my girlfriend. We were in this area where they were building new homes. Nobody's around. Broken windows and the new glass. You know how it goes. We're sitting in my 1974 Oldsmobile Tornado. We are having sex. Sorry to say, everybody, we are doing it. We're right in there. Windows are fogged. All of a sudden, we hear a little tap, tap, tap. And we're like, oh, shit. So I'm trying to pull my hand. And I go, And I'm looking and I go, it's a cop. And she goes, well, we'll roll down the window. So we roll down the window. We go, hi. And he shines his light and he goes, hey, are you guys, is that you, Colette? And she goes, oh, my God, it's Bill from my mom's bank. He's like a security guard at night. And during the day, he's like, oh, God, he said he wasn't going to tell anybody, but it was really funny. She's down there. It was terrible. Anyway, so yeah, it happened once.
Yeah,
He let us go. He
let you go?
wasn't a real cop though. He was security guard for the bank during the day, but he knew her.
kind of like the guy that stopped me at the gate and wouldn't let me in earlier.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
I had a few choice words for his people.
Here's my badge. Let me see
he
yours.
promised. Her main thing was, please do not tell my mother. Trust me, that was my hope too.
Yeah.
Didn't want to get on this lady's bad side.
Had the mother found out,
She would have really had it with her.
Right.
And I wouldn't have got any more goodies.
she would have been fixed and you would have been castrated.
Could totally. Okay, so here you are. You're driving 55 on the freeway. We're at posts 55 speed limit, maximum speed limit. You're in the left lane. Let's say you have 10 people behind you and you do not pull over. Can you get a ticket for holding up traffic?
You mean for obstructing?
You're in the left lane.
Okay. So
You're
in the
driving
fast lane,
55. You got 10 people behind you.
But
Obvious-
are we talking a posted speed limit of 55?
posted speed limit. There's 4 lanes on the highway. You are in the left lane. Everybody has to go around to pass you up.
No, technically the people that are passing you, since they're passing on the right side, are the persons that you would actually cite.
Okay. There's the answer to my question.
Yeah.
But isn't there a law that says if you have more than 5 people behind you that you have to pull over to a slower lane to let traffic pass you?
I think that's in the Book of Scott, if I remember correctly.
No. It was in
not in any penal code or vehicle code I know.
Okay,
of.
I remember
that might be your
seeing it.
personal one.
No. I remember
'Cause we
seeing
know you hate
something
bikes.
in the DMV. I remember seeing something in the DMV about no, seriously. I'm not the only one that thinks this.
No, there's a lot of people.
Oh, nice try. Anyway,
you know, there might be something with some implements of husbandry.
I didn't know if that had to do.
when you're driving a tractor.
I have a new target. Lucky you.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, it may have had something to
ride a
do with
bike.
driving in the mountains too. If you have so many people, you should pull over and let them pass.
Okay.
Could I
from
confuse that?
Yeah, that might be.
Okay.
If you're in a mountain pass area and
But
obviously you're driving
if it says
slow,
55, you cannot. You're breaking the law if you go beyond that, right? To speed up to allow people to go.
technically, yes. I mean,
All
it's
right.
a posted speed limit. I mean, obviously, it's most people are driving with the speed of traffic, and that's where they kind of start to argue the case of, well, I was just going with the speed of, and it's going like 80 miles an hour, and that's where it's obviously it's way over the posted speed limit, and that's where people kind of start to grumble a lot.
Yeah.
When you pull them over, and they're like, ah.
So here's another question. I'm at a large intersection. I'm making a right-hand turn, stop, and there's a pedestrian on the far side. It's a big street, but big intersection, and they just step into the crosswalk. Do I have to wait for that person to walk all the way across, or can I make a right clearly because they're like 50 feet, 100 feet from me?
Well, technically, depending on how big and how wide, there's times where you have like a middle section where it's kind of like an island where, a pedestrian would actually cross to one kind of section first and then cross the second.
Right.
The actual turning motion, though, just can't interfere with the actual pedestrian. So if the pedestrian would have to stop because you're making that turn motion and stop their forward movement,
You're in trouble.
then you're in trouble.
Okay.
So for
That's a
instance,
good question.
But you know what? But I mean, normally I make a right, but if there's an officer behind me, I will wait.
I've heard that as soon as they step off the curb, you need to wait.
you turn your car right towards
But I
them
always
and-
wanted to know.
No. Seriously, I heard the same thing.
Yeah.
That as soon as their foot leaves the curb and they enter the crosswalk, you need to wait till they are safely across the street.
Correct.
I've heard that too.
That's the whole thing. Like when the light turns green for them to walk, obviously, the little Walkman guy that's lit up. That's technically their safe time to actually cross.
So you can't, even though they're way over here, you can't turn right before they get there. Is it as soon as they enter the crosswalk, you cannot turn in front of them?
correct.
So you could be cited as soon as their foot leaves the curb.
You could be. Yeah, absolutely.
That's a
Yeah.
great question.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Moving on to another question.
Oh,
and
my
this has
God.
happened to, I'm sure this happened to everybody.
Not me.
We have a caller?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, let's see what this question is. Hello, caller.
Yes.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi,
How are you?
guys. Good. Who is this?
Scott.
Who's this?
This is Tom. How you doing?
Good. What's going on, buddy? Will you have a question for us?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask and see if it's true that towards the end of the month they give a quota in terms of a certain number of tickets they have to actually write.
No,
That-
just the amount of donuts we have to eat. No. I'm totally joking.
No, is that true though? I heard about that. Is there a quota that
This is probably one of those things you can't really talk about.
It's a good question because obviously I think that there's a lot of people out there that think that we do have quotas. No, there is no such thing as an actual ticket quota. Typically what ends up happening is and this is the way it works. We get phone calls that go into our watch commanders and they're complaining about people speeding on their streets. So what they do is they'll take and they'll apply resources and they'll put out motor officers or traffic officers on those specific corners. And what they're looking for is exactly what people are calling in and complaining about.
Gotcha.
Ironically, the people that are typically getting hit are the people that live right on that street, and then they start to complain, saying, "Well, why do we have all these police here writing citations?" The whole if you look at statistics, it'll actually show you that when there is kind of a rigorous enforcement of laws, that the actual amount of traffic collisions and everything else do actually decrease. So there's no. I mean, I've never been told personally that I have to go out and write 250 tickets, or I don't get a paycheck. I mean, it's just it's
That's a good question.
but no, it's a really good question.
Thank
That's
you.
crazy because it's like every time I get a ticket, it's always like the end of the month, and I'm confused.
Hey, he has a point too then.
you might have to just ride your bicycle?
You know what's God, don't tell him that.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, buddy. Well, you got to tell him to get another bicyclist on the road.
Just slowing down one more vehicle. Just to,
That's a really, really good question, though.
But I've heard that.
No, I think I mean, there's a lot of things that people have heard,
Yeah.
and, you know, and then there's the actual, you know, things that kind of go on. I mean,
Okay, now this has happened to me. You're at a stoplight,
uh-oh.
and this is the never-ending, does not want to turn green red light. I mean, for instance, I go to work early in the morning, and there's this red light, and I sit, and there's no cars, and it just is red, and I'm waiting.
I hear you, man.
And waiting.
Why not run it?
Can I take it as a four-way stop? Because it doesn't turn green. Literally, it doesn't. It's there has to be.
Are you going like back and forth trying to check
Yeah,
the sensors?
yeah. I mean, is there?
What he's asking is,
Can I go-
how long do you wait at the red light before you decide it's safe to run it?
You know, long enough to where you don't see any cops. First of all, would
Number
probably be
one.
the
Okay, well, I've been good with that.
would probably be,
But I do,
would
like,
probably be
I-
number one.
Yeah.
No, you know, there
No
there-
cameras.
No, there are. I mean, there are some. I mean, obviously, it's like, you know, if you're waking up and it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and, you know, you're sitting at a light and it's been, you know, a couple minutes, and you're
Yeah.
sitting there, you know, and nothing's changing, and, and, you know, it's not going to, you know, cause an accident, or it's not going to impede, you know, other traffic going in a different direction, then. Yeah,
Because I feel like it's on purpose. It's just purposely wanting me to be late to work. And
Now-
yeah,
now-
buddy,
now-
I'm just going to let you sit there.
No, here's the thing, though. I mean, if you were caught doing it, I mean, you know, you could be cited. Obviously, it would be grounds
Right.
to pull you over.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know, I mean, probably the officer or the deputy would probably look
Would you
in
tell the
just to make
judge,
sure that
"Judge,
you're not high, or, you know, make sure that
I
you know-
waited 2-3 minutes.
What you didn't tell him is this light and concern was Wilshire and La Cienega.
No, I haven't been on that one, but no.
No, one
this
of the
one's-
busiest, right?
Oh,
Hey, what do you know about the photo red light thing? That, you know, the lights that took
That's no longer-
pictures?
Oh yeah.
It completely done. They found that to be illegal, I guess.
No, it's not necessarily illegal.
it'll cause more accidents, I heard.
Yeah, I heard it cost more. I did. I heard that too. But I heard
And
that it
I
was
heard that
found
they
to be
actually
illegal.
wrote more tickets at the end of the month. I'm joking. I'm totally joking.
I thought I missed something there. Whoa.
The electronic. No,
I heard it was illegal. I heard they stopped because they couldn't. There was not an officer to sign that you accept the ticket. Number one.
well, you know, what would happen is there was a independent company that would actually administer these. So you'd actually end up in court. You'd have an officer who would then review the photo, the pictures that were taken, you know, from all the flashes,
Right.
and essentially they would match that up with the person who actually appeared in court. Here in the LA area, you know, they basically kind of did away with it. People were not quite happy with it. They said that it cost too much, and it wasn't necessarily generating either revenue, and it wasn't necessarily making
People weren't paying.
people.
right?
Yeah, correct.
Most people were not paying.
their
Yeah.
tickets, and, you know, they said that it didn't really improve the safety. So they,
And from what I understand, if you didn't pay your ticket, you couldn't be held liable for anything because there was no officer to sign and you to sign in front of the
citation,
officer.
exactly, saying that you had promised to appear in
Yeah.
court. Correct.
So people like me who paid the ticket like an idiot shouldn't have. Insurance went up for 3 years. 3 years.
Ouch.
And I was told by this lawyer friend of mine,
Yeah.
why I got a dozen of those. He said, you don't sign them. You don't go in. There's no proof. And then I was told eventually, you know, so I found, anyway, thank you.
So people, I mean, speed.
Very frustrating.
People speed all the time. Speed every day, trying to get to their
I don't.
destination, whatever.
Run a light here and there and get my picture
What
taken.
I want to know, what's the because people come up with the craziest stories, you know, why they're speeding.
Oh,
or,
God.
I'm sure you've heard everything, right?
Yeah.
I just want to hear
This would
some
be
of.
just as good as
I just
the
wanna
10
hear-
best stories of excuses people give officers when caught speeding.
What's-
Tell us
yeah.
firsthand.
Yeah, go ahead.
The one that I like the most is when they're just honest. You know, they're late for. I mean, you know, we all understand people got ways to go. I mean, I've had everything from a person going to the hospital, you know,
Right.
and they're clearly not in any distress. I've had people that were late for flights. I mean, you know, you've got people that late to pick up children. The worst excuse I think I've ever heard. Why were you speeding?
I had to go to the bathroom.
No, I think people understand that one.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, you got to go. You got to go.
There's one better than that. I'm going to the
I'm
bathroom.
going.
Look at this. Look at that puddle.
Hey,
developing.
That's not a puddle.
I'm like, whoa.
Proceed. Here, let me turn on the lights. I'll take you to your destination.
They're typically like just the cheesy ones, like where like either that or people just start breaking down crying, or it's
I like that one. Drama.
Oh,
My mom does that.
Really?
No.
That
And then she
that
still
for
gets
me-
a ticket, and then she cries
It's
even
acceptable
louder.
for women,
No,
right?
no,
No?
no.
Oh, I'm sure
Because
guys-
don't they get so nervous and scared? Can you tell scared from an act?
Yes,
Of course you can.
yes.
No, seriously, you see enough of the bullshit, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you're sitting there and you're like, I mean, really? And you're just like, and they just like, and a lot of them actually think, or they think that if they get like really hostile, that's gonna like
Yeah.
solve their issue, and that you're just gonna be like, all right, I'm just not messing with this one.
Why would somebody even think getting hostile with a cop is going to get him out of a ticket?
That's a
I
good
wouldn't
question.
think.
Oh,
That's ridiculous.
That's a good
we
question.
have some questions in the chat room.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, there's some people in the chat room that I have some questions.
Okay.
So
Oh.
and they're yelling. So
They're
we better
yelling.
ask
They're
them.
yelling.
How do you know? Why don't they call
Hey,
in and
I
yell?
know.
Jesus.
Because they're
They're
typing.
scared.
All
I'm
caps.
yelling.
All right.
All caps. It's like all caps.
Hello?
And a call.
This one actually is kind of interesting. It's asking about if the government decided to do a martial law.
Oh, here we go.
What? Yeah, we're getting deep now.
Yeah.
But what would
The
what
financial
would you do?
markets collapsing.
Yeah.
Martial law.
Yeah.
know,
What would you do as a police officer?
Well, that's a broad question. Can they be a little bit more specific? Hey, chat room guy,
Be more
can
specific.
you hear me? No, I will say this. A few weeks ago, you guys watch True TV.
Yes.
Okay, so you switch off Madonna every now and then. You
Yes.
switch over to
Well,
something
she's
more
my
manly.
mom, so I.
Yeah, okay, God, just making sure. No, actually, True TV. Jesse Ventura, the governor,
Yes.
the governor Jesse Ventura.
Right.
If you actually go there and you type in FEMA police Jesse Ventura, there's actually kind of an interesting. You've seen it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it'll make you kind of sit up and go like, what's really going on? I mean, obviously, I can't say that they're not true. I mean, it was a pretty convincing piece of 45 minutes of television. If you haven't seen it, log on. You can still find. Actually, I believe they actually removed it. Then they stopped actually showing it on True TV. But you can still find it. Can we say
He's pretty
can we say
controversial.
what websites you can find it on?
Oh, you go-
like
go
YouTube.
for it, yeah.
All right, good deal. YouTube.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll send me a nice fat check. No, no, but you log on there. It's kind of interesting to get to the question about like what would I do. I think that if you look at most people that get into law enforcement, they go into it for the reasons of wanting to help the public. They truly have. Obviously, cops are a little different. It's like typically when bullets are flying, people are running away. We're the people that are running into the fire or into the line of fire to help people. That is one of those ones where you just look at it, and obviously you kind of realize that throughout our history, law enforcement hasn't always been put in the best situations. Let's put it that way. I mean, it's like you look at World War II. When we rounded up, all the Japanese Americans, it was law enforcement. It wasn't, it wasn't the National Guards, and we were the persons that did that. If you look at, the very foundings of law enforcement in our country, they were actually slave police, and so they would actually go out and they would round up runaway slaves. So you kind of take in context that there are specific reasons why maybe we don't have the best relations with a lot of different groups. But I think that moving forward, we've made reprimands for a lot of those different things. The martial law thing is kind of scary. I mean, you look at the state of the economy right now. Things are not looking so good. The debt clock scares the bejesus out of me. And every time I log on to that thing, I just you're like, oh man, start hiding some money inside the mattress. But in a state of martial law, I mean, if you look at riot situations, what typically ends up happening is you can have peaceful protests of people actually going out and exercising their First Amendment right. Typically what ends up happening, though, is you have these people that are insiders that are essentially going to places where there's large crowds, and their whole intent is to basically cause conflict. And that's typically where things kind of go south. Unfortunately, you get good people that are wrapped up in it because, they're out there saying, hey, we're peaceful. And then you have, the one guy who's there instigating, the conflict between law enforcement. Martial law is one of those things. It's going to be a very difficult thing if we ever do have to kind of enforce it. I think that for most of us, like I said, we're out there to protect the public, and it's an interesting question. I mean, what are your thoughts there, chat room guy?
Did he write any more?
Writing anything?
They just said there are cops that do the same thing, though, which I don't. It didn't make sense.
What's the next question?
Actually, you answered one. It was about the
I
the yellow lights and the cameras, and so that was one of them. So
how psychic!
So, I know.
We'll have another show.
I know.
Psychic abilities of me.
I think I just depressed the room.
I know
when we talked about the
I know they
debt
said-
clock. You're like, oh
No.
man.
But here's the thing.
Very informative.
See, my folks live in Seattle, and they have the cameras in the intersections, and they're still active.
Correct. It's not. Yeah.
So it's not everywhere.
Sporadic.
By the way,
Yeah.
so if you live in other places other than Los Angeles, you might want to still pay attention to those and still pay those tickets so you don't get your car impounded.
But can they impound
Or you can
a car?
send the bill to Scott.
Yeah, send the bill to me. Got my pen right here. I'll help. Do you have another question? Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right.
Is there anything that you want to inform us? Or
Hold on. We weren't done with his funny list.
What?
He only got one into it. The stupid things people say to get
Oh,
out of a
stupid
ticket.
things people say.
That's right.
God, that one's. Oh man.
Well, think about it, and we'll talk.
Well,
and
no, I do want to say though. Actually,
let me ask you this: what is the stupidest
Thing we
excuse
ever
you've
said?
ever? Yeah, what's the stupidest thing you've ever said to a cop to get out of?
I've been pulled over.
All right.
And I mean, I have friends that are police officers. I mean, I'm just real, and I'm direct. I always, address an officer as officer or sir. Give them I do give them that respect because they've earned it. And then I just tell them usually, do you know how fast you're going? I had a Pontiac GTO. I bought it. It was brand new. It was 2006. Had 400 horsepower, and I was out on the freeway, and I thought I was going like 100. But I was clocked at 90 or something like that. But the guy's like, the state trooper says, "Do you know how fast you're going?" I said, "I don't know, 100, 110." He said, "No, I got you at 90." But I don't
Over
know.
100,
But what
you
he
can be taken in, right?
Yeah.
2 points on your record. They can impound your car, and
Yes.
you get brought to jail.
I don't know, but
Straight to jail.
Discretion of the cop.
Here
right?
was the thing.
Correct.
I was above and beyond honest. I mean, I gave myself more speed than I actually thought I was going. But
What an angel!
I was being
doing
clear.
150 miles an hour. He wants a piece of cake now.
No, but the guy was nice and actually only wrote me up for going 5 over.
Well, that was nice.
Yeah. He said, "Well, did you have fun?"
He said that.
They did.
That's funny.
He's like, "What do you think?"
Was he an older guy?
What do you think of the car?
Was he
Do you
was he an
like
older
it?"
guy?
He was a younger guy.
Really?
Probably in his 20s.
2
Yeah.
minutes left. Jesus.
Man,
Just
time
got informed
flies.
that time just flew by.
So we got to have Landavazo
Jesus.
back on the show again.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming.
Absolutely,
Seriously.
guys.
I would love it if people actually wrote in some questions they have.
No, we did. We got
can-
emails. We got a caller and chat
Yeah,
room.
yeah.
So,
No, I mean,
but
other one. I mean, I haven't even done it. I wanted to ask
we
you
haven't
more
e-
stuff.
I know.
Shit.
You
get
you
so-
mind if I may I plug just
And out
one
of
thing? Just one thing.
Yeah.
9/11, September 9/11, House of Blues. Come out and join us. We're actually doing a huge concert benefit to support our troops and to bow to never forget. We have a great cast of amazing rockers. I can't necessarily say who the special guest is, but if you go to the website www.cops, it's COPS, the number 4 causes CAUSES.org, you will pretty much be able to figure out who that special guest is, and it's going to be a very rocking night. Let's put it this way, some rock royalty. So get out there,
Beautiful.
make some donations.
And this is
to our
House of
troops.
Blues
House
on
of
Sunset
Blues,
Boulevard.
Sunset Boulevard, Los
Yeah.
Angeles.
Yes.
September
Nice.
11th. Never
Beautiful.
forget.
That's awesome.
How many minutes do we have left? 1 minute? I was going to sing for everyone.
Well, I want to hear you sing. I know
Tony?
you've been working on a new tune.
Go fuck. I'm trying to be
You
clean.
usually do your countdown when you got like 15
I know. I'm like,
seconds.
no. Anyway, answer to your question. Actually, always been honest. Found it's the best way with the cops.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I agree.
Yeah.
If I'm, you know what? I fucked up.
That's right.
You seem cool.
Just be real.
And I've got out of it with several motorcycle
Yeah.
cops.
That's impressive.
That Burbank, even more impressive.
Yeah.
Seriously, I
And
can
I'll tell
only
you,
say good
I will
things
say this,
about
though,
Burbank cops.
If you get
seriously.
pulled over by a motorcycle cop, more than likely you'll get a ticket. You really can't talk yourself out of a.
And if
a
he's
motorcycle cop.
female, no chance.
Is that
in
true?
hell
Is that
getting
yes?
out of
Yes
it.
or
If
no?
he's
Yes or no?
female, is that what you said?
If he is not a if he's not a male and it's female,
Right.
if he is female and not a male, in other words, a lady cop on a motorcycle.
How
we've
many
had
people
it.
are outside your people?
How many people? How many people?
Yeah, have you?
Don't know.